All right. So after the party, you guys had liberated, cleared out the Sunless Citadel, slaying some kind of dark druid warlord who was commanding this goblin tribe, liberating them from their dark leadership, and freeing a possible corruption from Miss Sharwin Hercule and saving her brother Talgan Hercule, arresting Vinicus Abril, some type of paladin who had given in to the dark whims of Balak the Druid. You guys, after leaving the Sunless Citadel, traveled for a couple hours in darkness, or sorry, the kind of late evening into darkness, and then set up a campsite where you had rested. There was a small discussion between Thoric, Torkel, and Vinicus where he pronounced that because the tree was slain, that he will also die by the next dawn as well. Unrelated to in story, in fiction, you guys all hit fifth level. I trust that you guys have all done your level ups and picked your spells and all those kind of cool things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Cool.
think so.
Yeah, yes, I have.
I ran
Mm.
through it last week. Or yeah, last time we played.
Okay, brilliant. That's good to know. So now it is about late morning. There's an early mist with the dawn that came a few hours earlier, and it's been burned off, revealing a golden hue upon the vast shrubland around you. The beige and muddy ground on these sloping hills will soon dry as summer appears. It's signs in the heat in the air. Although it is pleasantly warm, there is still a bit of humidity that clings to your cloth and skin. You kick dirt over your campfires, dump pots of water over the ashes in your camp. And now there's a man who once thought his life all but over, but is now renewed with purpose, Mr. Slade. Another one who betrayed and lied his way to gain power and now faces the ultimate consequences. And finally, the siblings, Talgan, acting more with purpose this morning and confidence. However, his sister retreats more into herself, but will stay close to her brother. She is possibly fearful of what will happen when she returns to the rule of law in Rakmir. It is about probably coming into an hour before midday, 11 a.m. It is the 14th day of Walwell, which means it is a day of God. So if you guys have any explicit prayers or ideas of what you might do to honor the gods this day or your god specifically, just bear that in mind. This is the day that people usually do these things. This is the first day of God we have had in this campaign. And to remind people of what that entails, it's usually a day where people travel to the sites of their gods to pray in offerings. They might find themselves in wandering in deep, meaningful thought about their place within their faith, um, and generally surrounding themselves with scripture, with belief, with followers like-minded of themselves. As I have said, the weekend in this culture is about 4 days long, and this is the last day of the weekend before a new work week begins. So you have about a day and a half to get back to Rakmir. And what do you guys do this morning?
Is there
Um,
a library nearby?
Right now, this instance, no. You're
aren't
probably
aren't we in the middle of the woods?
you're
Oh, sorry.
in
I
the
just I
slope.
thought we. You on?
Oh no, no, sorry. I'm just still asking. You're still the morning of this disembarking. Taking apart your campsite. You still got about a day and a half travel on foot back to Rakmir. But to answer your question,
So
yes, there would be plenty of libraries in Rakmir.
Okay, cool.
Hendrik had morning watch. Hendrik
Hmm.
spent morning watch piling up like good dry burnable um, wood, branches and brush and stuff like that. And there's the biggest, finest piece of wood that he could find has like punched down in the center, standing up. It kind
Give
of looks
me
like what's the word I'm looking for, guys? Um, a funeral pyre, or not a funeral pyre, burning at the stake.
give me a survival check, please, Mr.
I would be
Hendrick.
happy to. And Not advantage.
Not advantage on this.
The survival.
19. Pretty good. This area, this terrain, trees don't really get higher than about 8 foot in the hard expanse. And also, these trees are incredibly used to wildfires that happen in the summer. So you would know all of this stuff. This wood is not like it's not like pine, it's not like oak, it doesn't burn very well, but it will resist fire very well. So you're going to work very hard to get it to light. And also, it has been the rainy season. It has been the winter, which has just came. So it is pretty damp. It will burn, but it'll be very smoky. Just to let you know.
Okay. I'll just build a instead of a burn at the stake, I'll just do like a bed of burnable material.
Yeah. I would say with the 19, you would understand that the way this wood is going to burn, and between all the different species here, like the cypress and all this other stuff, it's got to range it a bit in a different way than an oak or a pine fire. And the rest of your allies see when you come around and you wake up in the morning what Hendrik has constructed during his watch in the early hours of the morning.
Is
Gone.
is our friendly murderer still actually alive?
Yes, he's still alive. He's alive and awake.
Vinicus, yeah.
I'm pretty sure. My laptop's so slow. I'm pretty sure that where are my spells? Here we are. I got access to remove curse, which
You
I
did.
have read, and
Oh,
I would like to attempt to cast remove curse on him. Wait,
okay. What does that look like? Do you just walk up to him with his back turned to you and you just cast it?
yeah, I'll approach him and I think I tried yesterday in game yesterday I tried to
Lesser restoration.
lesser restoration him.
Mhm.
And I think I'll go up to him now and I'll place a hand on his shoulder and I'll say maybe I was not using the right tools. I still think there may be some use in taking you to the city for questioning. And I'll try and cast remove curse. Like a sort of like fiery light in my hand on his shoulder to see if I can burn
Cool.
away that curse.
So what happens is Vinicus sees you approach. You speak all these words. He looks at the kind of bed of best dried wood that Hendrik has been piling, staring intently at it, but not alarmed, just more accepting to the fact. He looks up at you. The palm of your hand swells with a small amber light, which gradually glows into light little um, displays of flicks of orange and red fire, and your eyes glow a deep molten red turquoise as you cast a spell as you stare down at him. And through these wholly imbued eyes, you see the wrappings of an enchantment around his soul, around his entity, his purpose. There is a binding of a curse that has enveloped his being. And through these gifted eyes, you're able, with your fire, as you grab onto his shoulder, you can control these flames with subtle movements of holding his raised collar, and you can control these flames to burn off these spectral limbs of branches around his frame. Suddenly, at first, over the course of around a few moments, all these branches that enveloped his body in this realm of magic have been singed away and burned and receded. He breathes deeply, like he is taking in a deep breath for the first time in a long time. And he kind of keels over and rasps for air. You watch over the next few moments as his pale skin, his sallow wood like bark, which seemed to be almost leaking sap over this morning's movement and past moments, starts to fade. His natural dark olive skin color starts to return, the paleness fading over seconds, and he looks as he probably once was before he made the bargain with Balak, as your spell of remove curse has succeeded.
Hell's yeah.
You're gonna face the wrath of justice, bitch.
Is everything okay? He's like Leonard's probably a little bit confused because he doesn't know about the curse because this was a discussion while he was still asleep.
Torkel, did you just undo a very much deserved curse on this damned man?
I thought the deserved was to be decided in court. Or did I read it wrong?
He is no longer cursed, and he can stand in front of people's families and explain to them why he did what he did. I do not regret my actions.
It is a good thing you've done. A second chance, almost.
Okay, well, the curse was going to kill him, and now it's not.
Yes.
And what will be
Which
gained? And what will be gained by
Doesn't
this death?
have. I.
He will be subject to laws of the land. The people
I
of
mean,
the area will decide what happens to him.
And I gesture towards the large pile of realm material. This was my plan for the justice of the land.
I did not. Are we aware of how the legal system in this area
Yes.
works? Is Hendrik given power to be judge, jury, and executioner?
He did
You
mention
You don't know the explicit limits of his power within the Church of Tyr, but you know he is a functionary of that. Roll a religion check for me, please, Torkel.
We did watch him execute.
I
someone.
do.
To arrest. For otherwise pass judgment in the
And
absence of other
and-
authorities.
I don't know.
well, Hendrik did say to us, he did say out loud to us as a group that he could do it, and none of us questioned him or anything like that. So
Well, I was going to execute him before the curse took him, just for the sake of following out a.
We're gonna burn him at the stake as the execution.
Well, that's up to him if he repents or not.
Okay,
Fuck you.
Torkel, the laws of Tyr are set upon this land, the Concord, and everyone obeys, whether you are a follower of Bahamut, a loyal subject who believes in Arias in the far north. The laws of the land originate from Tyr and his divine proclamation within heaven, and they follow to the mortal realm. The sentencing of such crimes, such as heresy, of worship of dark gods, is either fulfillment of a life debt in service of labor within Eland, or execution. Executions of such people are not a public affair. The Church of Tyr does not acknowledge that public executions raise morale or claims to be for society. Executions are done in dark cellars and rooms within patrol houses. They are not to be publicly witnessed, or they are done on spot by the agents of Tyr when the situation is extreme enough to demand it. Could this have been a moment the functionary of Tyr, Hendrik, could have responsibly done this? Could have been, but he would have had to take news back of it to his superiors. The only thing that possibly would have worked against him is it wasn't done by an entire council or group of priests of Tyr and other members of other churches and faiths are seeing it happen, which is not the usual way. So that's what you'd know. And if you have another question at all, you can ask me about it.
Yeah, okay. If Hendrik has if we know that Hendrik has the ability to do this, that doesn't really change. That he won't die from the curse. That's all I care about. That is free for the people and to do what they will with him, but he will be subject to the God's absolution and not to whatever dark thing put that curse on him in the first place.
It seems as though we came to the same sort of intention, just by different means. I was going to kill him before the curse got him, thus saving him from the curse. Your method
Curse.
works that well too.
My understanding was that at first light he will die. Maybe we do not have a lot of time.
Okay. Vinicus. Good morning.
He like throws out. He's still phlegming the corner of his mouth and hurls a little bit of spittle. He's been whatever ration that someone's kind enough to feed in the morning. Half of it's came up as whatever kind of freeing of this curse, despite the fact he might live, has not been good for his immediate health. And he looks up at you with like kind of a bloodshot eye in his right eye. And it looks at you, just staring at you, Hendrik.
Vinicus, I can't have you coming back to us with the city. There's lots of reasons, but I don't think I need to explain them to you. You understand this, right? Whatever fate you have is going to be decided here, away from the eyes of the impressionable.
He says as we have like 2 teenagers with us.
Oh, cover their eyes and their ears. There's going to be a lot of screaming.
Shouldn't we maybe make distance? Does it have to hurt him?
That's up to him. If he wants to repent what evil god turned into a tree, what a stupid thing to worship. I can just do it quick. Absolute class right.
Give me a death of a warrior. Quick. I'll tell you everything if you promise me that.
I mean,
Thork
first
look
off-
at Hendrik as like that. Thork's happy to fight him if he wants to die in combat, but only if it's necessary.
that's good to know.
The two kids are
Thank you,
nearby,
Thork.
are they?
Yeah.
The Hercule siblings are around 35 feet away from this current conversation, and they're at the corner, the very edge of what can be considered the campsite, and are kind of looking on, interested and a bit worried.
Okay, I'm gonna walk over to them. I'm gonna try lead them away. This is no place for use.
That man, Sharwin says, the one of Tyr, he's not going to pass judgment like that on high for what I have done, is he?
What
I
did you do?
I don't know. We'll figure
I
this out
swear
later.
my elf hearing.
Shut up. This is
A
like
fucking
45.
What do your elven ears hear?
Metavision.
They're taking
you
the
just-
twins to burn at the stake.
So you lead them away.
If there's no resistance, I'm just gonna.
It's the
walk
wig.
away
It
with them.
muffles the hearing, you know.
I think Talgan kind of protests what he's doing. It can't. And then he kind of like realizes he is heavily outnumbered, does not have any of his equipment, none of his weapons. Sharwin, we should not see this. This is church business. And she agrees and goes with
Okay,
you away.
Vinicus. If you want to repent, give us information. What was going on?
I was a Templar, just not one of the Raising Flame. I served in the order of. I served the one in the hill. I served in the Sacred Bastion. It was hard work. I became a consecrated knight, as I should have. But the campaigns, the marching, the death, burying assistants and squires and levies, my own knightly brothers and sisters dying around me. There was no path of someone such as I, bound to die by some troll's deep claws or feral tribal ambush in those mountains. So I abandoned my post. I sold what I could, made enough gold to commission a suit of armor, and I managed to also procure a Raising Flame cape. Then I linked up with the man, the one who I bargained with Balak with his body. I used him. I used Gale to make myself stronger, and it succeeded. But you must understand, the order, these orders, looks towards kind of Lernok's direction. Movement, it's political. Someone with my ability was never going to ascend the ranks. I was treated upon, harshly sentenced, because I did not fill certain attitudes and kissassery that they wanted within the ranks. So I did what I did. So I left. I created a lie of a person who served within the Raising Flame. I just wanted more for myself. I wanted to achieve something on my own, not without standing on the shoulders of the Order.
To want something for yourself is fine. There is nothing wrong with that. To dream, to ascend, to do more is also fine. But what you have done, you betrayed the people that trusted you, the people that you swore to help. If you had merely left, I would not hold that against you. I could not hold it against you. But what has been done, it is too much.
It was. I never went down into the Citadel intending to betray the party that hired me there, those children and Gale. But what Balak said he could offer me, the abilities growing as the tree grew as we fed it, it was all too enticing for I.
Temptation is a path that is very easy to get lost on. I understand what it is, what it means to make mistakes. I believe that there is still a knight within you. If you wish, I will try to see some manner of leniency, some manner of help to see if there is a chance for you to seek redemption and for you to earn your way back into society, to the graces of people and others. But that is a choice that you have to make on your own.
Your intentions are forthright, and you do believe greatly in the teachings of the gods. But I fear that once the Grand Masters of both the Bastion and the Raising Flame have heard what I have done, their sentences will fall upon my head, and it will be no different than what you offer me here today. I buy myself
If
maybe a week of life if I agree to your bargain.
if you agree to my bargain, then I will fight to make sure that they do not merely execute you or torture or anything. I will do what I can to ensure that you are given the opportunity to make right what has happened.
Answer me this question, Knight. Is there any crime that such a person such as I could commit that is unworthy of any redemption you may hope to provide to them?
I ask myself this a lot. I wonder, is there ever a point that is simply too far gone to ever to have the chance of redemption? And I believe that there is not. I believe that at any opportunity, the chance to take a step back, to walk away from that path, to tread no further, I have to believe there is a way for everyone to make their way back to the light.
And
To
whose light
me,
is that?
the only light that it can be, ours, everyone, your own. It is a light that is brightened by the presence of those around us, by the people we serve, the people we protect. When they are together, when they are cooperating, when everyone is walking towards the same goal, that is the light that I seek. That is the light that I believe and that I hold dear to me.
I wish I had your eyes before I left the Bastion. You have an honorable creed. Looks towards Hendrik. And you, what do you say about his ideas?
I think you lived an honorable life until a single moment. I think that the preservation of what you stood for includes you dying nobly in that dungeon we left, and no one else learning of what you've done, and leaving the judgment to the gods after the fact.
Slowly kind of nods his head, and then kind of speaks up a bit, shrugs his shoulders. But others looks towards the siblings that are walking further away, still from the conversation, about 100 feet away from camp. They know what I did, and your companion gestures towards Blade, and who is about 50 feet away, kind of earwigging, but like trying to not be too involved, not looking in direction. Will you swear them to secrecy to protect my honor, to protect my reputation?
Yes, it is easier than you think it is.
May I offer a suggestion?
As your last words, yes.
I have no children, no wife. The legacy of one man falling to a dark path. Do not cover it up. Let others know. Let the sisters and brothers of the orders know how easy it may be that selfishness can corrupt such ideals, and that they too may fall. This is the only salvageable thing of my life, that it be a teaching moment for others. That is what I ask. You tell someone who can make it known that what I did was perverse, it was blasphemous, and in the end, all but meaningless, because true agents of the gods came and saw it to its end.
I'm gonna just look over it. Is the work nearby? The work's a part of this, right? You
Yeah.
go with the kids.
I'm with you, because the discussion was the possibility of like fighting as a soldier in combat. Torg is like, well, I'm one of the kind of soldiers, like actual soldiers, not a paladin or a priest or anything. So yeah, what do you need?
Your sword. And I point towards him and just like the neck down as like a stab.
He bows his head. Vinicus bows his head. The warrior's death, he is meaning, is a quick blow. One either to lacerate the head, a blow to the temple, or it is a coup de grace, a final blow, a quick, swift one.
Uh,
I have something I'd like to do. That's okay.
yeah, if you
Okay.
step in, Torg won't.
Yeah, he will step in. He'll just speak one at time. I do still believe that there is a chance for you to do right, to make amends beyond being a cautionary tale. But if this is truly your wish, I will respect it.
It is. And whether I find myself in the halls of heaven of old, or the lifeless and deathless existence of limbo, I will seek some solace in that you all gave me a choice. And you, priest, saved me from whatever dark power would claim my soul in the afterlife. Looks towards you, Torkel, and says that.
Yeah, Torko says that abomination underneath this ground claimed enough people. It does not deserve another soul. My friends talk eloquently of what your legacy shall be, but I have only ever known you as a relatively horrific person. I am not sad to see you pass, but I admire the courage with which you now meet your end.
if I had had this courage 2 weeks ago, perhaps your story here in that citadel and these two, it might have never happened. But you are all somewhat a group I have not seen before, a presence, a community that I think will go on to do many good things for the people. They're trying towards Leonog. I am ready. He closes his eyes.
Thork, please do the honors.
Actually, sorry, there's one thing I would like to do if possible.
Go for it.
Sure.
Cool. As a paladin, I have the ability to do divine smite. Can I basically do? I'll burn a spell slot basically if he's allowing it.
Uh-huh.
Kind of like an execution with divine smite, because I'm hoping in this instance I can do it as painlessly as possible.
Okay. What weapon would you use for that?
He doesn't even really want to like
A rock.
use a weapon. He basically just wants to like put his hand on his chest, and he's basically just gonna do a pulse of the divine energy
Okay.
as an execution if possible.
Yeah,
Like
Shoot the guy's spirit right out of his body, right?
kind of. I'm hoping this is basically like the as painless as possible. Like there's no blood, it's no mess, it's almost
You stop his heart with divine power.
yeah, more or
basically.
less, because like I know it's not something I can do, but it's just the execution. It's very gentle. He wants to be. He doesn't want it to be something messy with with the mace. Effectively, he just like
Because the other options either a dagger in the back of the neck or a hell of a blow from the weapon that now Thoric now wields. Which
yeah,
would be
that's
very
why
massive.
it's all of those options seem too messy for
the
what
question is-
Leonard wants.
If Hendrik stops Lyrnok, Hendrik does not.
Okay.
Thoric trusts Leonok enough, so if Leonok is telling him to do something, Thoric won't stop him.
All right. Leonok, you approach the man. You crouch down. You put his hand on his chest. Do you say anything before you exorcise his soul from his body?
May you find peace in the beyond. I will mourn the man you were, the man you could have been. But if this is what you wish, then I will see you to rest.
A slight cock smile at the corner of his mouth and a single tear rolls down the closed eye, and then you enact your spell. Divine light floods over his chest in a wave. His body shudders. Breath escapes his mouth. A single droplet of blood falls from his left nostril as his body kind of slumps and leans into you, Lyranok. And his skin turns cold. You catch the mass of the torso and you lay him down to rest as the spell goes off and you use the spell slot.
Okay, guys, let's haul him on the pyre. We're not going to leave him out to get eaten by the lions and tigers and bears.
Ooh.
Oh, right crackly.
Okay, I'll just be there. Oh. Anyone else catching him, or is
Still
it
very
just Scott?
crackly.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really in
Ireland's
the air.
one
anyway.
router is having
Oh.
issue.
Am I okay now?
No,
no, you
okay.
go.
Yes, you're okay now.
Okay, so because I'm more of a soldier and not like a priest or anything, and this guy was clearly a soldier, what would be like the normal way to prepare a body for cremation as that kind
So
of...
obviously you guys did attend the funeral of Nathaniel Everstone, and it is in his culture to burn the dead. There are no priests of Vela around, but as you are a soldier, you've been taught some last rites that you would be give to a soul and to the body to sign them off into the afterlife. Usually the culture isn't like burn possessions or burn items with them, but there would be certainly some scripture that would be probably placed upon the body of deeds that they have done that could be used, or possessions that you had. You know, if it's a friend who died, you might leave in something, an item they gave you, or something of them. You choose to honor them, But in this instance, the man has been stripped of his armor, of his weapon. The belongings he had either insignificant, meaningless, and were left behind in the Sunless Citadel. He has nothing more than the simple traveling clothes that were under his armor upon his persons.
Is it a thing to put coins on the eyes or anything?
No.
Okay.
No, Vela does not need coinage to accept people to the afterlife.
Okay.
It would be customary for the body to be wrapped and soaked in a cloth of oil, and the cloth is specifically weaved and emblazoned with symbols of Vela and the Church of Vela, like such as Nathaniel's funeral. But you could try and do that. You might have some like satchels or things like that. You could do write on symbols of Vela and some last prayers or maybe some parchment. But that's probably as much as you could do for this moment.
Yeah, like I have my journal that I keep, so I can tear like a back page and do what I can on that or something.
And what do you write about him? What do you say about Vinicus Abril, this betrayed,
Honestly,
cowardly knight?
Thoric will go to Torkel because Thoric is not the best with words. Torkel,
You just try to come up with something nice about him. What was his name? Vinicus.
Vinicus Abril.
A man who lost his
it.
way but found it at the end.
Yeah, Taco nods. It says, without the title, the Vinicus Urkel, former knight of which order was it? The Burning Hand.
Sacred Bastion was his actual
Bastion.
order at this point.
Yes, he was fake. He was faking the Raising Flame, but he was the Bastion.
The man who fell into darkness but found the light at the end. May he be judged with the leniency accorded to his honor.
okay. Thoric, with maybe one or two words scribbled out from his spelling, writes that out and and puts it on the body.
Okay.
Taco taps Thoric on the like I guess the hip. It was good.
Hendrik, do you light the fire with your spells?
Yeah, I just shoot a couple of firebolts in the base of it.
There's the crackle, the wood, the intensity of your spells overpowering what is a simple wildfire, which would rip through here, and lights the cypress.
What kind of god would be associated with sort of like rebirth or redemption?
Rebirth and redemption. So
I mean, a rebirth. I don't know if there's any god.
there's no
Yeah, it's like
rebirth.
I mean, like
Sure.
some ancient pagan deities were tied to the birth of new life in the spring and things like that, and that's often associated with like rebirth and renewal and regrowth and everything like that because it's a continuous cycle. Like, that kind of rebirth.
Arias is the god of light, of sun, and birth. She is the midwife of earth and the clear light. She is a goddess of all about basically the first instance of birth and stuff like that. They don't really have a god of rebirth. They don't believe in reincarnation. If you're looking
Yeah.
for a god of forgiveness, this pantheon does not have one. It is up to, however,
Because
that
if it
heaven
was-
decides your instances and your place within the mortal plane has affected your judgment when it comes in afterlife, and that judgment passes by many gods. There is no true way that mortals know how that is decided. There are many ideas and theologians within the society that have ideas of how a soul is judged. There are councils of angels. There are explicit chambers that gods will face a mortal soul, but no one knows for sure what happens.
I think Torkel would put maybe like a small like cairn of like stones or pebbles at the foot of the altar that's now burning. Just in the which god was that? That was the god of birth.
Arias.
Arias' symbol, if he could, and just basically make something better be born of this. Then I'd take stock of the group. If we have nothing left to do, I suppose it is time to leave this place.
Very well. The entire party takes inspiration if you did not already have it. That was beautiful, guys. Very well done.
Let's go.
Awesome. Thank
Well
you.
done. If the if enough smoke plumes and Orly sees it, I assume I don't hear anything.
You don't hear screaming.
Perfect.
just-
You'll get a nice little smirk out of Orly, and he'll hoosh the siblings up and rejoin the party then.
Mm.
We haven't like started a wildfire halfway. Like,
No,
No,
it
so-
is, the ground is
Okay.
still wet enough.
okay, good. I'm just sat there going, that would be really
Yeah.
unfortunate. Where it's like, what happened to you guys? There was a fire.
Unfortunately,
Tell
the
us you're
fire
really
wasn't.
impressed if you started started a wildfire this season.
The fire wasn't actually dry enough to burn the body; just smoked it.
Look at Big Jackie.
Listen, man, calm down.
No, with a 19 survival check, Hendrik definitely piled it on a rocky outcropping, not close to any vegetation, even if it could catch.
Cool.
And so you have.
Hendrik is
Yeah.
going to have a quick conversation with the two teenagers and the mercenary who's still alive.
You mean
I don't-
Slate, the man you rescued?
Yes. No, not.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, the other one's dead, isn't it? The hired
Yes.
two mercenaries. That's
Gale-
right. Okay.
Gale was dead.
Okay.
No,
I'll talk to the children and I'll have them just not RP'd, but just like, okay,
Yeah.
kids, he died
Keep
nobly
quiet.
fighting evil within the dungeon. If you say otherwise, I know where you live.
What
That is.
were you?
Yeah,
Were
like
you?
you-
This.
Were you looking to drag? Were you looking to do that privately?
No.
Oh, okay. No,
Why would I need to?
But
no. I was just
his
wondering.
literal last request was, "Don't cover it up."
Well, I don't know.
Well,
Orly doesn't know
I
any
took
of
that
that.
under
I wa-
advisement. I never made any promises.
It's a last request, not last order.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
yeah.
Okay, but here's all right. That's fine. You can't. What are you gonna do? Fear me into it?
No. I'm
what I
going to
thought.
request that you don't spread information that knights are capable of falling.
It's
It tends to
important to know.
undermine things.
It's important to know that even knights are not infallible.
Now imagine we're having this conversation like right in front of the kids after I told the kids to not talk.
Yeah.
I'll turn back to
Yeah.
the kids. Lyranok here can beat me in a fist fight, so I'm not gonna threaten him.
Well, I mean, I don't know
You
about
two.
you've seen me attacks.
You two just follow the orders. We got you home free of charge, safe. The least you can do is
Besides,
keep
we
this
can discuss
a
this
happy
later.
story.
He found his way in the end, but it is easy for people to fall.
I tend to agree with. This is an open conversation. The group.
Yeah, I'd imagine that
I'm
everyone in the
assuming
party.
it is. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
I tend to agree with Hendrik in this regard. I understand that it is important internally, perhaps, for the knights to be sure of each other and know that mistakes will not be necessarily punished as harshly as this. But in the general populace, we look up to you. We do not want it to be widely known in the towns around here that there was one such knight who came and enacted such horrible deeds. He may have requested that we will use him as a symbol for redemption, but I don't think he will find it in the afterlife, unfortunately. We may hope, but not my understanding of how these work. It is more important to remain a symbol of what is good rather than something that can be twisted.
Is
He
it
may
better to
find
be
redemption at
pure?
the end. He did repent.
Is it better to be pure good, or to have the capacity for wrong and choose not to?
There is a difference between the deities that we see and the people that are actually real. The deities and their followers are supposed to be infallible.
But we're
However,
not.
that interacts. That is not the question that is being asked, though. It is the understanding of what the people know. And that is that these knights are elevated and that they are true and pure and defend their homes and their lives and their country from an unassailable evil that exists all around and has been attacking us for years. These communities need hope rather than grey areas and debate. This is only my understanding, anyway.
Also, he may be
although I would-
seen.
I would also not want to create some kind of rift in the town. One story is good.
He also may be seen as a martyr for those who do break away. Someone who
We don't
go on.
we don't need half the orders turn against the other half. A heresy, some might say.
I was going to say, we're all the Emperor.
Yeah.
Zaranok is the only person who understands salty.
Okay. Yeah.
You guys know. You're stuck with now.
I mean,
We have a
You-
long way to walk back to the city. Let's make this a walking debate, then, shall we?
Okay. All right. Well, if the conversation has concluded, if people agree to that,
I imagine it goes on for several more hours.
I imagine
there's
this
going
is
to be.
back and
They're not-
I don't think it'll be.
Lernock will. You know what? He will agree to disagree. You may keep the story as you wish. Lernock is not going to lie.
That's fair, Lernock. That's admirable, even.
You are literally saying, "Oh, I don't think he'd find redemption." To the oath of redemption, paladin.
Hey,
Also,
look, sometimes people's views don't align. Sometimes Taco believes that once something is outlived its usefulness, sometimes it has to be gotten rid of.
I think
And he's
he
no
did
longer a
find
knight, no longer
redemption.
holding the values. I don't think Taco really believes in that kind of redemption.
as much as you want to hide it, Thork is going to be noting it in his diary what actually happened and submitting it to his church when he gets back.
Okay.
We will agree to disagree.
No one can read Thorik's handwriting, anyways.
The tale of Vinicus Abril will be continued on in some fashion or other by members of this party later on. And with that, as you guys have a day and a half travel back to Raknir, is there anything you guys want to do while you're traveling? You want to talk to Slate or talk to the siblings still before you get back to Raknir?
I think Lernock he'd probably be chatting with almost the twins or the siblings a little bit. He's just trying to provide comfort and like sort of that she's not necessarily going to be like harshly punished for what she is. Like Lernock will protect her if it comes down to it.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. Yeah, she seems comforted in the fact that you are speaking about that it is not outright punishment and it is not outright a horrid path that faces her, that there is leeway and that you, such as a person who has defended him, literally defended her life and that of her brothers, is willing to be on her side. Slate, despite everything that's happened, Slate actually walks with Hendrik and seems to I don't have a conversation with this, but he seems to have a very much different view on Hendrik and a renewed respect for
Yeah,
Tyr.
I want to have a conversation with Slate, if that'd be okay.
Of course, this can
As
happen.
we're walking.
Just the two of them while you're walking, yeah.
As we're walking, it's like, Slate, what you did was very admirable, and I'm happy to see someone go above their expectations and try to do something heroic. DM, I'd like to cast a spell, please. I would like to cast a spell steadily.
Okay, what are you trying to cast on?
I'm going to cast an enhance ability
on yourself.
Wait, do I already have insight? Oh, I already have. I'm a moron. I already have fucking advantage on insight, I think.
Okay, no problem.
But fuck, I cast it anyways. Investigation, insight. Yeah, okay, I already have an insight. So okay, never mind. I don't need to. I have to ask though, Slate. You were drastically out of your depths there. Why? What would possess you to go against your senses and go into danger despite not having appropriate equipment at all Just out of character, does Slate have a sword?
Slate has a holy symbol of Mina and not much else. Some adventuring
Yeah.
clothes, a small dagger. That's as much as he possessed when he went into the Sunless Citadel.
Why would you go after these without any equipment whatsoever, even a sword?
Uh, uh, it it is it's a long tale. When I came back from my sentence in England, I took many a jobs, but because of what I was known for, my crime, not many people paid me a fair wage, and that was accepted. And any money I could earn was taken by my wife to either help feed my child, to Philippa, or Camilla. She would use it on her habits, gambling and drinking. I have many a times taken her to churches of Namela and even Mina to seek some type of priestly intervention for her habits, her vices, but nothing has truly came of it. I needed the money, even if I could just even get that 125 gold griffins from the parents for just merely recovering a ring or an identity stone of the siblings up the road in front of us. I needed the money. I wanted to close up shop, and I was hoping that come the summer, when all the fruit picking came along, I could sell what is left of my home to a group of teamsters, take my belongings, and try and head down the dreaded road to Burl, maybe Saltmarsh. I like the coastlines, or if that didn't work, go to the capital. Um, we have not fully talked. I know you're interested in my involvement with the crypts of Lakmir. Is this a conversation you wish to have now, just the two of us, or do you want it with your companions as well, or do you want it in the halls of the patrol house with the other shields?
It's mostly my responsibility. Most other people think that this business is done, and I do not think it is. So
It is
basically,
not.
no one else is going to care, fortunately. But I very much want to know.
I'll tell you it all then, if you can stomach it. I think we have a long road ahead.
Yes,
So,
please.
in my youth, I worked in Blakewater, born and raised there. I came to Lakmir when I was a teenager. I found myself slowly indoctrinated and moved accordingly into the Hydra, this guild, secretive, of moving supplies around, counterfeiting, thievery, theft, moving things around, uh, dead drops, very complicated organization to work for. But I moved things between Blakewater and Rackmere for a lot of my young adult life. Then, one time in Rackmere, I met a woman who now is my wife. Her habits, her vices were even worse when I first met her, but she was beautiful, so funny and caring. I've never saw a soul like her, and we fell in love. I did the best I could to bring her about the ways of true faithful, eliminating her vices. I've always believed in Mina, and that a vice can be used and followed even within the teachings of the gods. But she owed a lot to many different gambling houses within Blakewater. She owed a lot to people as well. And this is where the path that you're now interested in building it comes. I was very much in love with her. And there was ways a man, he wanted to collect the debts on her in an atrocious way. He wanted to use her as a pawn. I never knew the name of this man, not his true name, but he has an alias. He is called the Six-Fingered Man. I worked for him, slowly. Did odd things moving around, nothing important. A few casks of wine, some armaments, very, very small scale. But then he declared that if I did not do a job for him within Rackmere, while I lived here at the time with my wife, that if I did not do it, he somehow knew that she was pregnant, even though I did not know. And he said that if I did not do what he wanted, he would take her and my child, unborn or born, when I would be powerless to stop it. And I gave in. I did it. But was not a simple job. It was not a simple thing. I don't know how he found this out, but my ancestor, my great ancestor, great ancestor, died in Heliza's Gap. He is buried in a great room of funereal rites within Vela's crypts. And he wanted me to take some of his men down there. And I did. Now, you must be asking the question of why this was not told upon my report and incarceration to the Brass Shields 9 years ago. Don't worry, that will be answered. So, I did it. I took them down. They attacked some Valen monks, but not killing them. And we escaped, headed back out to the tunnels. They used subterfuge. They had things around them. They had these abilities like blanks that people didn't see us. I don't know exactly how they worked, but they were very well hidden. I took them down into the urns. I remember this like it was that of yesterday. They checked inside them all. They opened them up. Sacrilege, I know, but I was powerless to stop them. I needed to complete the job. The urn, the one that is still missing, they took it. Its contents, they were pleasant with it. They were happy to have it. And we took the rest of the urns as well. But one they really cared about. As I understand it, the one that has still never been returned. I think the others were just fodder. And then, when I finished the job and we left, he shook my hand with that six-fingered hand of his, and the job was done. He said that that was all, and that my child and my wife would be safe, and that I would not forget the decision I made to help him. But as I shook his hand, that was the last I remembered of that moment, outside, a few hundred yards away from the crypt's entrance. And then I woke up in my bed. I went to do my duties, my regular role, and then I was arrested by the Brass Shields, holding 8 urns in a wagon that I don't remember hitching up to some hydels that morning. I don't know what happened to me, but when I was arrested, I had no memory of what happened, of the job I accepted to, of meeting this man, of anything. So I couldn't tell the Shield, I couldn't tell the judge. But when I spent time over many months and years within Eland, the effects of that stone, it undid whatever he did to me, and I recovered my memory. I recovered the agreement, the subterfuge, his hand, all of it. I remembered it all. The vein stone undid the spell he cast on me. And that is where I am now. I spent 6 years there serving my sentence. I felt that if I told the Blessed Shields, especially there, that I had information that was not declared in my trial, that I would have been heavily penalized for it, perhaps my sentence extended for not, even though that I did not know what happened to me, that I had some spell that fogged my memory, that I would be penalized for it. So I kept it hidden. My wife doesn't even know any of this. she still believes the story that I told her on my arrest, that I am innocent, that I had no involvement. She cannot know. It would break her, I think. And I never felt a desire to go and tell them when I was a free man, again, for fear of recompense. I've kept my head down in Rachmir. I have not bothered any Black Shields. I am an honest worksman. But now that is where I am. Is there anything you need cleared up?
DM,
Uh-huh.
out of character. It was, I believe, it was 9 jars that were taken. 8
And
were
eight were recovered, and one is still missing.
8 were recovered. 1 is still missing, right?
Yeah.
Do we know the name of the last one?
Yes,
who
it should
was
be in
the winner?
D&D notes. It should be somewhere up here.
I
Yeah,
think you are
Horizon's got-
right.
Yeah. Sir Slate. Yes, with Sir Slate.
Oh,
It's
his direct ancestor.
his direct
one.
ancestor is one of the knights, but it's not the one that's missing. Give me 1 second.
Sir Nicholas Pajero. I'm sorry.
That's
I
it,
don't know.
Pajero.
Pajero.
That's it.
Order of the Sacred Bastion.
Yes. Yes, that's the one that's still missing.
Which I don't remember if we ever knew if there was a particular significance to them.
No,
Like-
not that you're aware, but he said that basically in this story that they checked all the urns, and then once they find that one, they take particular credence to it. And from what he remembers, that's the one that's probably still missing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I also
Okay.
did the rest of us overhear that at all, or was that just Hendrik?
I think it's just gonna be Hendrik. I don't think Hendrik would allow
Cool.
this conversation to probably be any further than the group of them two, perhaps.
Fine.
Does that make sense, Hendrik?
I would be hiding it, but I was having a private conversation with Slate
Yeah,
at the very
that's
beginning of this,
yeah.
so yeah.
I would have thought so, yeah. Okay, so he tells you all that, explains the situation. Basically, he done a job for a guy, the six-fingered man. His memory of the job, of his involvement of meeting this man was erased, and the time he spent in Eland in proximity to working in the mines and the mining and the quarrying of Veinstone slowly eroded the spell. And now he remembers everything that happened, but never came forth and told anyone what happened, not even his own wife. And that's where you are with all that information.
Okay. Just as a formality, DM, can I insight check that and make sure he's being truthful with me?
Make an insight check.
I totally believe he's being truthful.
20. This man has very much, over the past couple of days, been thinking about how to say this in a way that presents himself in a fashion of giving you as much detail as possible, but not making himself look innocent, but just explaining his reasoning.
Okay.
Like, very much, I know I'm going to talk to a cop, I'm going to get my story straight, I'm going to tell him exactly how it is, and not
Yeah.
obfuscate the truth.
Okay. Sounds good.
Always answer no comment.
I
He did
don't know
not-
how
he
that
didn't
works
ask
in
for
this
his
I
world.
don't
advocate.
answer questions.
Where's my advocate?
Never, ever, ever answer police questions without a solicit present.
Did someone stab you? You look stabbed. Did someone stab you? I'm
I
not going to
don't
talk. I'm
answer
No
sorry.
comment.
questions.
It looks like you
No
need
comment.
help. Has a
No
crime been
comment.
committed
I
against
do
you?
not answer questions.
No
Sorry.
comment.
Oh, Johnny Tightlips.
My
Okay.
solicitor will have a
And with
my
this
solicitor will have a
interval,
prepared
You
statement.
said he stabbed himself and then was free.
DM's
I
trying
don't
to
know why
confuse
he
you
admitted
guys.
it.
with
Sorry.
and with this revelation of what Slate knows as you guys travel back to Rachmir, let's go ahead and take a quick 10-minute break there.
Cool.
Sounds good.
No
I think I'm
comment.
gonna. Yeah, I don't answer questions. I'm gonna jump off here, guys, because there's just
Cool.
shit with me, so I want to do.
Yeah, it is.
I'll be around next weekend if we're gonna be playing.
Great, sounds good. Thanks for joining in, Stowe. I really
Brilliant.
appreciate it.
Cheers.
Wait.
Hey,
There's one.
Hendrik. Okay.
So
So
you're asking about with the god of forgiveness. It's Tyr. Unfortunately, he doesn't forgive.
He's just not home right now.
I'm gonna be honest. If there was a god of forgiveness, I'd be following that god.
Hmm. And there isn't one.
No.
I'm the only god here.
It's why I went with Baldray. It's the closest thing.
Yeah. Oh shit! I forgot about the fire. Sorry, Darren. Okay. All right. Okay. So, Hendrik, like, do you kind of like sit on this information, this conversation, and leave him to it, and basically tell him it's gonna be okay, or do you like immediately start questioning him, or do you stew on it? What do you do?
Walking along. He gave me information. I fully believe he's truthful. I don't think there's anything else to get out of him. Like, good.
Okay. Very good. Well, thanks, Dan. All right. Okay. So I guess between now and then, luckily I've rolled, and your travel back to Rakmir happens uneventfully. Orly guides you well, and you head back to Rakmir. Is there anything you guys want to talk about before you get to Rakmir? Or you?
Torko just wants to confirm with the party, and we are all agreed that when we return these twins to their mother and their parents, that we will not be taking any kind of compensation. Is this correct?
I believe Slate was promised a reward, but I do not need one.
I'm sorry, I did not mean to include Slate. Slate, no offense, but I do not see you continuing along with that party after we have finished here, unless there is some more information that Hendrik needs from you. I meant Hendrik, Torek, myself, Orly. We are agreed that the woman has suffered enough. She does not need to give us anything. I don't want there to be some confusion.
I won't do anything to upset her.
Out of the game, isn't she like a business owner?
She owns a pretty big outfitting and wagon repair and Teamsters shop, and like outfitting supply shop. The Wanderer's Wonder.
She looks like she was pretty wealthy, from what I can remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's not middle class. She is a business owner, and she owns a very lucrative business, especially in summer months in Rakmir.
Yeah, Torkel, I don't really get funding from the church. And while I don't take payment from those who can't afford it, it's very clear that she can't afford it.
Shit, that reminds me.
Wait, do you guys get funding from your organizations?
I am part of no organization at the moment.
I'm also here just to investigate the untimely or unfortunate death of my friends. I do not get any funding, but I also know that I don't think that we need anything other than the items that we were given. We have gathered and got enough from just carrying out this expedition that we do not need, or at least I do not need, to get any more from this woman who has suffered, even if she is rich. Drop it out there. I don't know what the class war is like in this like, fantasy world.
The class, there's an extreme large middle class, and the workers class is much smaller because food is subsidized, care is subsidized, so people can pursue their hobbies of arts, literature, crafts, all these things as well. So there's a massive middle class of professionalism.
Yeah, well, not too bad about this. I am not saying that there is no ability for you to ask for compensation if that is what you wish. I just wanted to see if we were all on the same page.
I believe we are.
It is a subject we can tackle when we get there. Also, I'm speaking of they're gonna probably did this a while ago, but I've just remembered. I'm going to be returning the signet rings.
Yeah, I would have thought that.
Oh, yeah, I probably did it, but I have just now remembered. Oh yeah, I still have those, or I never said. Yeah, returning those to them.
I imagine you returned them probably as soon as you got them to safety.
Yeah,
So,
basically, like as long as it was like, okay, we're no longer like explicitly in danger. It's not a priority at the moment. We're good. We would return it then.
Yeah, and their identity stones are still with them, so they are who they say they are. All right, so cut forward. You guys return to Rakmir. the multicolored buildings, the well-maintained exterior of wineries and grape fields, getting ready for the spring season of growing. The green and interlaced vinage across much of the old city and pockets of it is starting to green up a little bit since we are getting close to the middle of early spring. The weather still maintains cool as another day goes by in travel. So we go to current half day travel, and then we go to hold on, half day travel. Yeah, so you would arrive on the evening of the first day of the second week of Baldray. So you'd arrive probably around 8 p.m. something like that. So the sun is still up, but starting to wane soon and set. It is slightly cooler on the night that you come in. There are a few pieces of light mist running in the hills around Arachmere. The city lights gleaming and glowing from torchlight and candlelight within the second, third, and fourth tiers of homes of the stories. It's quite a well-built and vertical town. And you head into the attached house, the main house of Wanderer's Wonder, where Carowyn Hercule lives. There is a meaningful, heartfelt reunion between her and her children. There is rushes of explanations of what happened, and she quickly realizes, as much as the questions she wants to answer, there's the manners of settlement. Slate is still with you guys at this point as well, even though he is desperate to go down the street and find both his child and his wife as well. But he is here to gain a reward. And he's kind of like heavily breathing and excited, and she hugs and kisses or both her child's foreheads, and so incredibly thankful, speaking blessings to Talos and to all the Divine 12. The kitchen table is laid out in a mess. Seems like she has not been privy to, or privy, not privy. She has not been motivated to clean as much as the washing up since her children have went missing over a month ago, and she has not had servants come and take care of it. And so at the dining table, while you guys stand there in this quite nice, respectable home for a business owner, she says to the party of you, "I cannot thank all of you enough. It must have been a great deed to bring my children back alive," and hugs both of them tightly again. The earlier payment discussed of 125, forget that. I will pay you 200 gold griffins each.
There is.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
I am glad to see
The
that. Like on.
No, you go. You go.
Right. I'm just glad to see that they have returned home safe and sound. That is the reward, all the reward that I need.
Well, I know you taken from my rations and other supplies, but there must be other places that you must go. You will need board and room. Please, I will be offended as an upstanding member if I did not pay you for helping my children. That goes for all of you.
Well, I wouldn't want to offend her. Yeah, the Thoric will sort of give a bow and say, "Well, you really didn't have to, but thank you. It's appreciated. It'll go a long way."
Take this to the coin hold of Mina, and she starts to write multiple checks to you guys. And here's he goes into another room and starts to prepare a wax seal. So you want to speak, Torkel?
Any payment that you have set aside for me, I would be much more appreciated if you were to invest it in your local Mason Guild, or perhaps to give it away to some charity or to anybody that you see is going through a hard time and maybe does not have as much as they need. I, for one, am very capable of looking after my own finances.
She has a think. She has a think. Looks at you. I know exactly who to give this to. Have you heard of the Metal Critic? The forge shop in the industry district, in the merchant district, in the south part of the city.
Have I?
Make a history check.
History check. The Metal Critic.
The metal critic.
This guy hates Slipknot. History check.
Please. 9.
9.
You have not heard of it, and you shake your head no. He is quite a well-known business, but I hear some of his orders flowed. Word travels fast around businesses such as I. I will write it out to him. I hope that this will keep his new apprentices on longer than the last ones. Anyway, that's where I'll direct my funds. Thank you for being so kind, Master Dwarf.
Yeah, he nods. The old apprentices, I assume that they could not be kept on just because of monetary reasons. There wasn't anything weird.
The man who owns the business, he is well regarded as one of the best metal and weaponsmiths in all of the southern regions. But he has a great temper for his work not being to his standards. I have heard that he has abandoned many projects because of a slight imperfection in metal or a bend in a sword or a crack here somewhere that any other soul would ignore and sell. But I am no smith, but I'm a businesswoman and I understand a duty of reputation. But I think that Neas he takes it more than he should. But yes, I'll direct it to his store.
Neas, you said, maybe I can pay him a visit as well. He sounds like
Yes.
an upstanding fellow.
Yes, he has done some work for me. Talgan's breastplate was that. Talgan, where is your breastplate? And Talgan looks around the room. I lost it in the. You lost a piece of Nessus Cantro's masterwork breastplate in that. I will clearly need this coin more than I thought. Anyway, and he looks like he has lost something very valuable and is being shunned by his mother for it. And yeah, she writes a letter with his name and a direction within the industry district and pastes that in the news. Neas Cantrero. And it is at the Metal Critic.
Hell yeah, I'm going to go visit her. I'm like a kid in a candy shop.
You're going to critique him.
I have to go AFK for about 5 minutes.
No problem.
No,
But I think you
uh,
accept the reward.
200?
You accept the reward? Yeah, 200.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. No problem. So yeah, so does anybody else refuse payment? Or I take it Thoric, Loranok, and everybody else takes the payment.
Yes, please.
Slate as well gets a written note for 200 gold pieces to go and take to the coin hold. And obviously Hendrik is slightly here, but he says that he's going to go back and reunite with his wife and his child. And if you need him, he'll be at his family home. And even though he has plans to move away, he will not leave until Hendrik comes and sees him again. And if he doesn't, then he'll presume that over a week or 2 weeks, and Hendrik has no use of him, but he will not rush off and hide. And so you guys have some basically written permissions for her bank account within the coin hold of Minos and Rakmir to pay you guys a tax, or not tax, a payment sum of 200 gold pieces, or 200 gold griffins, as is the nomenclature here. Yeah, and you guys have, as I said, reunited the siblings. Do you have any other business to discuss with Sharwin or the siblings?
No, I think Luna probably rein.
You're a bit muted. You're a bit muffled, Toxie.
Oh,
Yeah, you sound like you're talking through a cloth.
Okay. Carry on. I'll be right back.
I think just while Toxie's fixing his mic, I think that Torko will go and talk to the male twin. I forget his name. Sorry,
Talgan. Yeah.
Talgan. Go talk to Talgan and he'll say, Italian, if you have a moment, I have some questions regarding that breastplate that you misplaced. Is there any, and can you remember? I know it was very stressful. Do you have any recollection of whereabouts in the dungeon you perhaps left it or lost it?
He has a long conciliatory think. It was taken off me when the goblins took us under. They ambushed us. We were held in cages for some time, and I was made unavailable. It was taken off me. Um, did none of the goblins you have you slain? Did they not have it on them?
Did we recover a breastplate?
No, you guys did not.
Unless you want to count the breastplate.
No, that's plate mail off
Yeah.
Vinicus, but no, this is
Yeah.
different. You guys
Oh,
you guys would definitely recognize if you saw this breastplate.
Okay.
I do not remember us coming across any masterwork breastplate owned by the goblins. The area that you talk about, it was multiple cages in a room off of a corridor.
Yes, we were in these boxes, and there were shackles on the walls. We were in there for some time before being moved on to the grove with Balak, the
Is that
druid.
where I remember Slate being, or where Slate
Yes,
was
that
discovered?
was Slate was, yeah. And you do not remember seeing really any supplies or metal armor in there. But
These
there
fucking
is one
goblins.
creature that you do remember having a fondness for treasure.
that would be the
The dragon?
Yes.
The dragon
go back
aged the
so bad.
breastplate.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh. Wait,
Yeah.
are dragons in this world like Tolkien dragons where they eat treasure?
They don't eat treasure. They still so metallic dragons are good natured. They are the servants of Bahamut. Chromatic dragons, greens, reds, blues, and blacks are still very much classic. They want treasure.
Motherfucker.
I think I have some kind of understanding about where this breastplate may have gone. I'm not one to usually ask for reward or anything like that. But if I was to recover this breastplate, would you? I would request perhaps a favor that I would be allowed to at least hold it for a while.
You saved me and my sister. Fuck what my mother says. If you go get it, it's yours. My mother makes hand over fist during the summer months. She can hire Nessus to make me another one. I think I actually might go full plate this time. Those goblin arrows, the poisoned ones, they knocked me unconscious rather quick. I want to shore up my defense.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. But perhaps try not to get yourself into situations where you're getting shot at. I appreciate gold and trinkets and items. I do not, and these little things don't usually interest me. But masterworks, creations made by hand that are sublime, I cannot pass that up. I appreciate your understanding. I will go back to my people now. Stay safe and don't go anywhere where you shouldn't.
Thank you. Again, none of us can speak so highly of all of your companions' efforts in helping me and my sister, and discreetly as well, considering what you saw. I'll have to. And you can see he's got an idea of a conversation that needs to happen with his mother and his sister, and he's not looking forward to it. But yeah, this is like when the main objective completes, and then like the optional objective pops up. I'm like, recover masterwork item. Go back to the dungeon you just cleared.
It was a
Oh,
fucking
aha!
hidden.
Now we've unlocked the hard version of the dungeon.
It was a
Mythic
hidden
Plus.
objective. It wasn't on the
definitely.
list.
We've unlocked Sumner Citadel Heroic.
Well,
Yeah.
for Torkel, it's like the inverse. The secondary objective is recover the children. The primary objective is get that thing that dude made because it looks nice and you like it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and then he goes back to the
Mm.
team.
Yeah.
And he
So
relays that kind of information and just puts the feelers out there, basically being like, if there is we have a countdown though. There's a date dated inside the
Callum.
Yeah, we know there was like a month or something like that, wasn't there,
It's
between when?
yeah. There's a meeting with Eric at Newmonger Avenue, Liston 34, the cellar of deep red color, and that is on the 10th day of Balaram. So you're still that's 14, another 10. So you are still about 24 days away from then.
Yeah,
Do
so
we
we
even
probably
know
got
what
enough
city
time.
is it in? Is it in Acmeo?
You
or-
guys don't have an idea yet. Whether it's in
Oh, I
Rackmere
thought it
or
was a
Breakwater,
Rackmere.
Burrow
we
or
don't actually
Saltwater,
know.
you don't know yet. You don't
We
know
should probably give
Um,
ourselves at least like 14 days to do research.
Yeah, man, and probably get there because if it is in, well, if it is in another city, it might take a bit of travel to get there.
Yeah, that's true.
But if it is in Rackmere, it should be golden.
All right.
Anyway.
Sorry, by the way, is my mic fixed at all?
Yes, it is. Yes, it's
Cool,
Yeah, it's
perfect. I would like to speak to the sister then.
Yes, I think Sharwin.
Yes,
Yes.
Sharwin.
Not Sharp. Yeah.
Yeah. I know what it is like to fear something that is inside you, something, the power that we have. But it is important to know it is us who gives that power meaning. What we are and what we are born does not dictate what we will be.
Yeah, nodding. Yeah, following you.
Yeah. She's just I understand that what has happened is a terrifying prospect, but we do not need to focus on what could have been, merely what is and what could be. So I believe that everything that you do, that you will walk correct path. Perhaps there will be times will be difficult and perhaps there will be stumbles, but remember that no matter what, people will always be here to support you and to light the way as best we can.
Roll an insight check.
Cool. Okay. I'll take that.
What age are you? What age are you currently, and what age do you look like, by the way? Leonard?
He is currently in his 140s, so I'd say like 143.
This
Like-
19-year-old girl is swooning so hard over you.
He probably does. I think we established that Asimar don't really age past their like 30s or 40s. I'd probably say.
So to
Like
you,
he probably like looks in his 40s, but the
yeah,
hair is starting to grey, but he doesn't actually look too much older.
with the 22, this poor girl who was at the edges of her wits to make decisions, she's literally and figuratively been rescued by an angel and his entourage. He has counseled her, he has been honest with her, he has treated her with respect, and it is more than she has ever known these past few days of being nice and spoken to, and by a fairly attractive, literal angel blessed physique that you have, Laranok. So this girl is falling hard for you. And that is clear to see. With 140 years of experience, you can spot the signs very clearly.
That was definitely not Lernok's intention, but he is not going to touch that with a 140-foot pole. He is. Yeah, but he said what he needs to say. He believes that she will walk the correct path, and that is all that needs to be done at the moment.
Hendrik
Yeah.
has never been so insulted as to be called Lyrinox. What was the phrase? His groupie
Entourage. Yeah. So yeah, you get the sense that this girl, if you stay around any longer, she's gonna start either.
Remind me, wait, hang on, sorry. How old is she again? I
19.
really okay.
Is it?
I mean, this is still a bit weird for
Let's
me,
not get into this fantasy argument of races and hundreds of years of difference.
It's less that and more just like even for me, that's like okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
moving swiftly on.
So,
Yes.
yeah, that's where you are. I mean, gnomes live a pretty long time. You could wait. You could Ted Nugent it. All right, okay. So that was really inappropriate to say, Cameron. Anyway, so do you guys go to the coin hold and basically accept your payment?
Some of
There's-
us do.
If I remember,
Okay.
is Slate going back to his house first, or is he
Slate is going to
coming-
go back to his home, yeah, at the edge of the down the street, yeah.
I would like to walk Slate back first.
Okay, yeah, you walk Slate.
Oh,
back.
he's just
Yeah,
gonna walk back. How busy are the streets? I kind of want to
It's
know.
getting into like 8:30. I mean, it's a work week, so there's still some businesses open. It's now the first working day of the week, so there's some businesses that, like as I said, it's a long work week, so there's some work that carries on to the evening.
Yeah.
And some this is like kind of an not industrial, but kind of a more manual handling section of the city, close to kind of some of the what do you call it? Close to some of the northern walls of the city. So there's still a lot of like work out there and things. So yeah, it's busy enough. There's probably like dozens of people in the street.
Are people like reacting to Slate's presence at all, or are they just ignoring him?
Make a
Like another
perception
person.
check.
Okay. I'm not terrible at those. Fuck, I'm blind.
I think that you're still dealing with the ramifications of the very awkward conversation and moment of realization you just had within the Hercule home, that you're just walking with
Yeah.
Slate. And I mean, he's reacting pretty good. He's got a bit of a spry in his step, but not of arrogance, but just happiness.
Okay, that's good. But if he's happy, then I'm happy. He's going to continue walking back because from what Leonok has been told a little bit, sounds like he's not been treated fantastically. I know he wasn't privy to all the conversation he had with Hendrik, but he has mentioned something along the lines to Leonok. He just doesn't know the extent. So he's going to make sure that he is okay.
Okay, yeah. I mean, are you talking to us today, or you just want to do like a vibe check on?
Yeah, he'll be talking with him. I think probably just more small talk while they're getting there. But I do want to. There's something he wants to say when they actually get to the house.
Yeah, so it's not a long walk. It's maybe
Yeah.
400 yards from the store down to his home, and you can see the candlelight between the windows that are half patched up by some boards and things like that. And you can hear like some singing aside from a child's voice, and he kind of smiles when he hears that and turns to you. Well, this is it. It has been some journey.
It has been an eventful one, but I'm glad to have met you, Slate. I understand that things have happened in the past and things have been less than ideal, but you are a good man. I trust you, and no matter what happens going forward, you may call me a friend. If you need aid in any way, something happens, and you can get a message to me, I will come. I will come aid you if I can, when I can.
He really takes that in. It seems it's been a long time since someone has been this helpful to him and actually has given him a lifeline, some assistance. Make you got a pretty high insight. This man in this moment is battling on the verge of tears because he has been working so hard and it's finally paid off. Fair enough, he didn't contribute everything, but for the long time he has been working for 3 years. He's missed so much of his daughter's life. He's missed so much of what his wife has done on his sentencing that he doesn't really sure of what to make of whether he deserved it or not, even though you don't know that part of the story yet.
No, but Leonard knows enough. He's doing what he doesn't know everything that he did in the past, but he's doing what he is now for his family.
Yeah.
That is enough for Leonard.
I think
That is enough for him to go. No matter what's happened in the past, well, to some extent,
yeah.
what
I
he
think
is
what happens,
now is a good person.
yeah. I think what happens is there's a few moments of silence, and then he just hugs you.
Yeah, Leonard will embrace him back.
Yeah, he just hugs you, and it lasts a good couple seconds, and then gives you a pat on the back. I didn't know people were still this nice. Evening.
Oh, sorry.
He just says evening, and then he's kind of just caught up in emotion and just wants to turn into his house. But if you want to still speak to
Yep.
him,
No. Your daughter. She sings well. Go speak to her. Perhaps we will see her again. But well, I have a feeling we will. But go enjoy your time with them.
if I see you again, I'll know that heaven smiles upon me to send this angel in my life again. And takes your hand
I have a feeling we'll see each other again.
and steps inside of his home. And no, you don't hear any horrid screaming or any bad twist as he goes near his home. You hear a child scream in excitement as her father's home. You hear a shout of surprise as a woman screams her husband's name, and then some light laughter, and then some sobbing and excitement, and just a brief announcement of I did it. I did it.
Oh.
I did what I could, and we are going to have a better life for it.
No, we'll just be happily sort of enjoying the sounds of, well, joy, I guess. That sounded a lot better in my head. And again, so if I remember correctly, sorry, it's been a while. His house is not in the best condition. It was like
No, it's like the most
ramshackle.
dilapidated. Yeah, it's like the most dilapidated on like a end terrace street.
Remind
thing.
me, when it comes to the state of a house,
Mm-hmm.
is it like the city should be taking some level of care of it, or is it entirely based on the owner?
Depends on ownership. Some people have homes granted to them by the Church of Kinos because they need it, and then that house will be done in and fixed by the Church of Kinos, providing that they file the right paperwork and parchment in time and get authorizations. Alternatively, if you buy your own house, you're responsible for your own house. You can, of course, hire people from the church to come and fix it, or just general worksmen. But you get the sense that perhaps he owns this house and has had for a long time, and it's his responsibility to take care of it.
Okay, cool. So it's not like, because in the possible way, if one of our houses here was like falling apart, government has a certain standard to step
There's
in,
a certain standard, but whether or not people won't help him out because of reasons, because of his reputation, that might be the case.
Yes, that's kind of what Leonok's getting at. He's like, the whole point of this. Well, yeah. Leonok's not a huge fan of that, but I don't think he'd know who really to go speak to, or he'd have any kind of authority to actually do anything with it. So,
well, he might not be here very longer. He's going to have 200 gold pieces in his pocket pretty soon. And then with that, I guess to the other party members, I guess
I'll
go meet up
with the other party.
Okay. The coin hold is a vast labyrinth of towers of middling between 6 and 7 stories tall. And it's in after hours allotments where so you're actually not allowed within the full forecourt, but you're more on the exterior wall of kind of the structure. It's a very well guarded structure, lots of brass shields, and also Faithful of Mina in resplendent plate that have been kind of like gold filament lines that protect it and patrol it. But there's basically simply like a concierge and a check house where you guys can deposit the allotment, and think of it like a cashier, like a cold, not cold, but like a calm evening, warm summer night, and you guys get payday. So Leonok, Thordic, and Hendrik, the 3 of you can add 200 gold pieces to your inventory. Now I am unsure of what Orly would do, but I'm going to pay him anyway.
Yeah.
Also, while we're sorting all this out,
you have gold as well.
I had a bunch of gold that I never got around to displaying. I've split it. I think, from what I remember, the amount splits perfectly into 5 for each of us.
Was it 380?
Yeah.
Or was it 300?
It was. Hang on, I can.
Was it
375? I think it was 350.
350 divided by 5 is 70 gold pieces each.
Perfect, 70, which is kind of why I assume, because I had like 360.
Yeah.
And I know I had some left over, so I'm assuming it was that.
Yeah. But so everybody also gets.
Everyone gets 70.
That's pretty badass. So Orly's on 270 gold pieces.
And we had the gems
These
and
are
such, didn't we? We haven't.
You have gems as well, yeah. You have gems of value as well. Believe it or not.
Sorry, how much was that from the general pot from the
70.
exploration? 70.
Yes, and I have 80
Or-
gold's worth of stones.
Yeah, of agate stones. Yeah,
Yes, Abbott's. If I remember, these were the ones that like were in theory going to be identity stones, but
are blank.
did-
Yeah.
they're blank, so like we don't have to worry
You
about
gotta
it.
sell them to a jeweler or try and sell them to like some kind of facility or keep hold of them. You know,
Yeah.
if you want to
Yeah.
do
What
something with
these
them. Cool. That's all the coinage doled out. I guess it's getting into the evening, guys. So do you guys go and basically find a refuge? You go and find an inn and shelter
Yes,
up.
I think that sounds good.
Yep.
You guys going back to the bed of roses?
Sounds as good a
Yeah.
place as any.
Yeah.
Yeah, may as well.
Very well, very well. So with that, everyone mark off a gold piece as you guys book a room.
But I have no
And,
money.
Mhm.
Everyone mark off a gold piece as you guys go and rest into the bed of roses. And we will start next session as you guys have full nights of rest, successfully giving back the siblings, helping Slate, and claiming a reward. And it will be the second day of the second week of the first of Well when we begin again.
Yay.
Very nice. Thank you very much.
Nice.
No problem. I don't think there's any explicitly in piety for this session as well.
I
No more than usual, I think.
Well, it's not very-
Because the problem is we kind of always, or a lot of us are always acting
Yeah.
in thing with our
And that's
deities.
exactly
So,
what I
like, so
want.
in the
it-
nicest possible way, I'm pretty sure I'd more or less be getting a piety every sessions, and that's no. So I'd be happy if it only happens when it's like a significant event.
I think the way I'm judging it as a DM is like these moments, like when you're acting in character, are like pretty faithful. I'm not going to give you part of that, but if you're like doing decisive moments, such as like what
Yeah.
Hendrik did this session, or what you guys did to choosing to help the Sharwin siblings in the fight, and also dealing with Finicus and all that stuff and stuff you did with the goblins, like during a quest, very much you guys would get points towards the piety. But
Yeah,
as you guys go up like your piety, it's obviously going to slow down. In that it's not going to be harder. There's going to be a bit of a higher standard to reach your piety points.
No, I totally agree with that. Because yeah, if otherwise, if we're just acting in accordance with our character, we'd just be getting this piety every time, and it would be
Yeah, correct.
a
But I do
little bit
think-
out of control.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
do think Hendrik does get some this session.
That
Yeah,
is fair.
I ticked multiple boxes, and I'm actually
Yeah.
super proud of it because by first off executing the knight, fallen knight, and then
Mhm.
two, by lying about him falling, because that would count as dark knowledge, right? Knights fall
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're party members and there's people alive who know that, but for the moment right now, you're safeguarding dark knowledge that a knight of the Bastion of the Sacred Order turned cloaked and followed a dark power into a path of selfishness. So you carried out punishment on a fugitive, so that's 1 point, and then you're destroying or safeguarding dark knowledge, which is 2 points.
Cool.
So you're on 7, I believe now, Hendrik, which is
Yeah.
pretty damn close to hitting your 10th. Orly is much and such the same
Cool.
for him. Don't Torkel, what about yourself? Anything for you for piety?
Nope, don't think so.
Um,
Don't think
Thoric?
I hit any piety points. There wasn't any.
no.
I think once you turn some of your notes in to a library or a fishery of Bahamut, you'll get some piety, but not for this moment right now.
Oh yeah, Thoric.
Hello.
I have a book I'd like to transfer to you.
Is
Once we're at the tavern.
Is this a Mr.
the-
Men
the-
book or
The Tome of Dragon Lore.
Yeah,
Tome of Dragon Lore? Cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's a pretty extensive history of draconid subspecies, lesser drakes, and also the dragon kin of dragonborns that lived on Vondare, and a research study conducted before the destruction of Vondare on your peoples and some of the locales there. So you can have that. It is worth 150 gold pieces if you wish to sell it.
No, it's knowledge.
It is knowledge.
So
Thoric, I already read through it for you. There's nothing
are there good pictures?
dark. There's no dark knowledge in there. Yeah, there is.
Also,
So, if you've got
There's
questions
some
about
there's some
dragons,
pop-out parts.
yeah. So basically, the way this is going to work for you is because you have this item. Anytime you make a history check on like dragons or dragonborn, I'll just give you advantage.
Ooh,
So, cool.
thank you very
I
much.
think that's all, guys. You guys got inspiration. You got some piety. You got a lot of gold, and you're now
Yeah,
back
no.
in the safe clutches of Arakmir. And we need to see where you guys decide to go next. Do you pursue the six-fingered man? Do you try and find leads of where this meeting is in 24 days' time? Or do
The
you strike
brothel.
out your own to the brothel? To the cradle self, the holy site of Nemela at the western edge of Arakmir, to seek some solace and rejuvenation. But yeah,
I took a vow of poverty, which means that I can't hold on to money for very long, so I have to spend it immediately.
Oh, very good. Very good. Yeah, that was a great session, guys. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the RP with Vinicus and Abril. That was a great showing of your ideals and your character's personal
He's
belief
really good.
within
Yeah.
the system. It was some of the best RP I think I've ever seen.
It's very interesting having opposition, because I think it's very clear to say that there are some very different ideals in the party, but it's not
Yeah.
hostile opposition, if that makes any sense. Like, because in like none of us are like outright against each other, but it's just very much we're approaching things in a very different light.
Yeah, I think Hendrik and Lernok don't have. I think they have less bad blood than we started.
Yeah,
Just fair way to put
it's
it.
just different viewpoints, I think. Like,
I think Lernok gave a speech to every single NPC in this session.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of
did?
what he does.
I know.
It is kind of what I built my character around. There's a reason I get.
It's pretty enjoyable.
There's a reason I have plus 15 to persuasion.
Holy fucking god!
Yep.
You've
I
got
need to
advantage on
invest in-
every investigation, every insight check, so you can't really.
Oh,
tell, which is good.
hey, dude, I'm
Where
a
did you
detective.
get that from?
It's my racial things. It's
You're a detective.
Oh.
He's an angel of peace and redemption with the blessings of the god
Yeah.
of family. So it
Oh
makes
no,
sense for him
I'm
to be
not.
very
I'm not
persuasive.
bitching. I'm just like in awe of that 15. That's great.
Level 5 with plus 15. Well,
I like to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, if it helped, it's only plus 10 most of the time.
I was just going to say, I imagine for a few moments, basically the way Lernok talks is like Louis Theroux in a documentary to get people just to calm down.
I mean, Lernok, I can also give you advantage on charisma checks.
It's going to be so good. Even when we do that, where it's just like, I've got plus 15 and advantage and a reroll if need be. It was very funny when, like, in the battle where it's like, make a persuasion check. 34 or whatever the hell I rolled. 32 or something. It's like,
We should start every combat by Lernok giving a speech for 10 minutes, trying to convince the enemy to just not fight.
I mean,
I think it'd work most of the time.
You're joking about that? Expect
No,
that.
I think it'd work.
That is kind of what Lernok does. He wants to make violence is a last resort for him.
I know people might have some ideas of where to go, but if anyone's just got any quick ideas of where they think they might take the party or want to take the party in next coming sessions, am I hearing a part 2 for some of the Citadel? Raid number 2?
Oh, fuck yeah. Okay. I'd be willing to. Yeah, it seems important to Torkel. And I don't know, something about that dragon pisses me off, so I'm okay with it.
Probably because it's a tyrannical dragon.
No,
let's not piss off the kobolds so we may peace.
What's your deity again?
Kinos.
No, the dragon.
Horik. Yeah, Bahamut.
Oh, sorry, I said Torkel. Thork, yeah,
Bahamut. It's because it reminds me of Bahamut. It's Cocade's ass.
Yeah, so like, just quick lore, Bahamut is the father of all metallic dragons. So killing a chromatic dragon does not bother that creed or that religion at all. So killing a blue dragon, nothing to do with getting bad piety or anything like that.
I don't think Hendrik would know that. I think Hendrik would be like, fuck dragons.
I think I made Toxie mad.
Thork, you're one of the good ones.
I was so ready to give some horrific description of when Thorak hits a mortal blow against Vinicius's temple and just his brain smashed out the side of his head.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was such a more eloquent way to put him down.
Yeah, that's kind of why I was
Yeah.
like going, yeah, I want to worry Jeff. I'm like going, let's not do this. Let's not do this in front of the two teenagers. B, this is too messy an end. I want it to be a more gentle pass.